I'm Annabelle Flambard, I'm a potter and I make pottery, which I sell under the name of Annie's Pots. Pottery is something I've always been interested in. Did a tiny bit at school, but not much. And it's always been at the back of my mind. In 2017, they screened the first series of the Great Pottery Throwdown on Channel 4, and it just got me thinking again. So I signed up on the course up at Highlands, and I've been doing it since then. So this is my lovely little pottery studio, which my husband built for me, so I've got him to thank for pretty much the whole of my pottery journey. And I make pots, so I've got a wheel that I can throw on, I've got a kiln, I've got everything I need. So I spend lots of time out here just pottering away. Most of my pots take the form of mugs, mainly because I love drinking out of really nice handmade mugs. That was something right at the beginning, what I had in my mind when I started the pottery course at Highlands was I wanted to make myself a really nice handmade mug. Of course it didn't happen in the first term, but that's what kind of drove me on. So mugs and mugs and mugs were born, and I started playing around with different shapes and realising all the different textures that you could get with different glazes and different clays, and that's what sort of got me going. So mugs are my favourite thing to make. I do throw a lot because obviously with mugs and so on that's the kind of the main basis for the pot, but I do like to play around with the clay and make different decorations. I'm quite inspired by nature, so the kind of the coastal environment. I make some mermaid mugs which have got sort of scales imprinted on. I love kind of foresty kind of environments too, so I'm quite inspired by mushrooms, so I started playing around with doing some mushroom earrings and putting some mushrooms on mugs. I mainly use stoneware clay. Again, I like to try lots of different types of clay because you'll get different colours, different finishes. Some are smooth, some are kind of a sandy finish. So I've got quite a few different clays. I've also got some porcelain, which I use to make my mushroom earrings. So yeah, it's just a big adventure in playing around with different clays, different glazes, just to see what works together and the different kinds of finishes I can get. So I sell my work down at St Albans at the Genuine Jersey Markets, which happen once a month in the summer. And I've also got Instagram and Facebook pages, so you can keep up to date with what I'm working on. People can just get in touch with me direct. So a pot will really change in look from before it goes in the kiln to when I open it up after it's firing, and every time it is just like Christmas morning because I never quite know what's going to have happened. You know, the kiln goes up to 1200 degrees on a glaze for firing. You have to wait a good 12 hours for it to cool down before you can peek inside, so it is just like Christmas morning. You never know what you're going to find, so peeping in for the first time is just magical.